thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and hopefully you got a chance to watch all the other best practices that we have uploaded to our YouTube channel. And especially if you're looking at an upgrade of your existing WMS, or switching to a brand new WMS, or getting a brand new WMS. You never had a WMS before. You're getting a brand new WMS. Definitely watch all these best practices. That will be very helpful, very useful for you to get some key concepts, key ideas, right? Those will, if you get those right, many things will fall in place. So this best practice that we're going to talk about right now is something called global design. I mean, let's say, you go to Walmart in Atlanta, it looks one way. And then let's say you go to Cincinnati, Ohio, and then you go to a Walmart there. It looks completely different. How would you feel, right? How would you feel? Forget even Cincinnati, Ohio, right? Let's say you don't travel so much and you're in Atlanta, and then you go to, one Walmart near your home, and then you go to another Walmart near your office, right? And imagine if these two Walmarts look completely different, how difficult it is for you to navigate and, get a, simple, a cough syrup that you want to pick up, right? It's just makes everything so much easier by the fact that it looks all alike. And as soon as if you go to the left, you can find the pharmacy aisles and you can get whatever you want, right? It just makes everything so much easier. So take that concept and apply the same concept in your, network of distribution centers. If you have a big supply chain network, typically, many retailers that move product merchandise all over the US, there is typically one in the East Coast, one in the West Coast, one in either in Texas or Midwest, or they have one in Texas and one in Midwest. So that's how typically it gets, it's spread. Sometimes you might have multiple on the East Coast because, the population density is pretty high. So, having, following that approach where all your distribution centers look similar, or even from a configuration perspective, from a systems, operations perspective, they all have the same, same configuration, similar configuration. I mean, not exactly same. You don't want to get confused from a systemic, elements perspective, right? How you define all your different key locations, right? Reserve locations, active location, all that. But if you make it look very similar, then you can, and also if you implement similar processes between DC1 and DC2, DC2 and DC3, it's all kind of, if it's uniform, then everything is easy to manage, right? And I've seen both approaches where, the local teams, they operated in a decentralized fashion. That means, the local teams pretty much had the authority to do whatever they want, and they did that. And some operated in a centralized fashion where there were guys that came from corporate. There was a supply chain group that was at the corporate, and they instituted all these, uniform structure across all the different DCs, and they would go and roll out one by one, right? And people from one facility would come and help in the other facility because they know they were part of the previous implementation, and they were able to leverage a lot of these resources. So things like that, right? So, and it's easy to, move personnel from one DC to another DC and, have them help, or, and also another thing that you could also aspire to is, make any facility handle any SKU. So that becomes a much more flexible model, and depending on, wherever the customer is, if you can move your product through any facility or, any way possible, that gives you a lot of flexibility, right? And you can optimize process across your supply chain network, across different facilities. It just makes, everything so much easier. You don't have to reinvent the process again, one for facility one, and then again, another process for facility two. And it just complicates everything, right? So think about that, having global processes across all the DCs, all the facilities, and not reinventing the wheel, and then implementing the same set of processes across all the facilities, and also even having similar nomenclature for all the different systemic elements, systemic entities, even similar nomenclature for the locations, reserve locations, active locations, everything, staging locations, pick and drop locations, everything, right? That just makes a lot of sense. So hopefully this is helpful. Please share your thoughts, share your comments, and I would love to, hear your feedback. And thanks for the time.